And welcome back. This is a quick 7 or 8 minute video that's going to just talk about some of the things that I found during my second water test of the left fuel tank. I'd done the test once before and found that where I'm looking now, that Ford attach bracket, the four corners, the two above and two below, were all leaking. The inner rib there has a couple slots for where they kind of cut out so they can the metal can kind of form correctly, and I didn't seal those slots up enough, and it ended up leaking. So I applied more sealant to all of those places, and 3 of them I did a good enough job to stop the leak. That fourth location where you saw me shining the flashlight, unfortunately didn't seal it up quite enough, and it still had a little bit of a drip, and you'll see that here in a little bit. But it's about a 60 drips a minute leak rate, so not terrible, but obviously not going to pass. So I decided to go ahead and continue filling the tank up the rest of the way just to see if there's any other leaks anywhere else, and might as well get all of them fixed at one shot instead of filling it up, finding a leak, draining it out, fixing it, and then filling it up again to find another leak. So to save some time and effort, go ahead and finish it up knowing that I have that one leak location. The ended up finding, like I said, that one drip location I have there, and then I didn't use the plugs that you can screw into place with a wrench, the 2 holes that are on the aft end of the inner rib. And unfortunately, the idea I had of using tape was not a great one, and didn't actually work. And so I ended up having a leak, which you start to see develop right here. That is from, again, one of the fuel line penetrations that I just tried to use tape to hold up, and wasn't the greatest idea. And so I ended up having to bail out some water and try it again. So I'm going to kind of talk to a little bit of what I found here in just a second. Alright, in my second attempt to look for leaks, as you can see, the gas cap is leaking here. I believe it's more of the gas cap itself not sealing, because it's coming from the edge here, and when I press on it, it seems to lessen significantly. So I got to look into how to fix that. Other than that, the only other leaks that I've seen so far is, again, it's going to be hard to see, but this point in this corner, I put Pro Seal there, but not enough. Not sure if the camera will pick it up, but about what you can see here, that's about what I was seeing. So maybe 10 drops a second, or I mean 10 drops every 10 seconds or so, so about a drop a second. So that's got to be fixed, obviously, and I'll be able to just apply a little bit more Pro Seal here to close that up. Other than that, I was getting leaks where I had tape. That was one of my worries, is that I wouldn't be able to use the tape, wouldn't be able to hold up, and it didn't. So that's why I had to take water back out. But as you can see here around the fuel sender, it's all dry. These corners here are dry. This one's wet because of the water that came out of this hole here. That's the only reason that this is wet. But other than that, it held. So it's just underneath here that I'm going to have to fix. Alright, so I lost some video that I thought I had to kind of explain some of the things I've gone through to address some of the issues that I have with this tank. This is the left fuel tank. Initially, on my first test, I had leaks here and here, and also on the underside of each corner of this Ford attach bracket. I since went back and reapplied sealant to these 3 corners and also here, but on this bottom corner I didn't apply enough, so I need to go back and finish sealing that up. As I'm working on the right tank and I am using a tube of sealant, I'll come back and dress this up. That way I'm not wasting an entire tube just to fix this one location. So the rest of this worked out well. These are the pieces that I was talking to that you screw in place in the openings to block them off. And these are part of the kit. Put those in place, fill the water level up, and the only thing I was limited to was the vent line, which comes out here. And the vent line ends right about here on the inside. It's actually right about here. So I can get the water up to just above the fuel cap and test everything on the skins and at all the junctions to make sure that there's no leaks. And so far, it's just that one location. The fuel cap itself, as I showed in the video, there's a nut on the back of the fuel cap that you can adjust, and it will adjust the tension on the spring for the fuel cap itself. So if you find that it's leaking, tighten this up and it'll seal, and it'll pull in the cap a little tighter when you rotate it, and then lock it in place. So that's what that's doing, and that was the problem. It was too loose. So once I got that corrected, now it sits in there just fine. Oops. There we go. Sits in there, and when I retested it, there's no leak. So that took care of that. So all I have left to do on this is fix that one location, and then after that, place the back plate in place, apply sealant to the ends here and then on top of each of the ribs. And as I put that in, rivet all in place, and use pop rivets to attach to the ends of the ribs, obviously putting sealant on all of the ends here. And then when I'm all done with that, I'll do a pressure test. And essentially, that's going to involve applying pressure through the drain valve here, and then attaching a balloon or something, or a manometer to a point here, and just seeing how it does over a 24-hour period. So that'll be my next step. So hopefully in about a week, I'll have both tanks ready to point to do the pressure tests, and we'll have the fuel tanks done and be able to move on. So again, for those that continue to watch these videos, I appreciate it. If you get a chance, hit that like button for me. And also, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell, and you'll get notifications anytime I make new videos for these RVs. Like I said before, I'm building an RV14. It's a good process. It's a lot of fun. And if you have any interest whatsoever, I encourage you to look into it, because it's a whole lot easier than you might imagine it to be. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as I see them come through. And if you have any suggestions or anything, I'll take those also. Again, I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next video.